Many enterprise architecture leaders struggle with a simple but painful question. How should architects be aligned? To business or IT domains? Some teams go for IT domain-centric, others business-centric, and many end up with a mixture of roles and accountability gaps. If your architecture function have ever argued about whether architects should be aligned to IT domains or to a business domains unit or both, this episode is for you. In this episode of Enterprise Architecture on a Page series, we look at enterprise architecture function on a page, horizontal specialization, and unpack the three patterns: IT domain-centric, business-centric, and combined. So you can design an architecture function that matches your organization's reality instead of relying on ad hoc organization charts. So without any further ado, let's start the video. Before we start, a quick note. The Enterprise Architecture on a Page framework and all the original research belong to Dr. Svetislav Kotisev and are used here with his permission for educational purposes only. This series is a collaboration between us to help bridge his evidence-based research with real-world enterprise architecture practice. But it is not a paid promotion or sponsorship or advertisement of any kind. The views and examples I share are based on my own experience that exceed 20 years in the IT architecture field. In last episode, we were focusing on the architecture tiers, the 1 and the 2 and the 3 function in an architect. This was the vertical based architecture tiers. Today we are focusing on the horizontal based architecture areas, and this part we will be focusing on, and you will find here it is based on and it is taking into consideration the centralization of the organization, if it is centralized or it is a decentralized organization, and of course it is taking the size as the second factor as well in order to decide the architecture shapes. So let's dive into the details. In horizontal area-based specialization, it implies defining different positions for architects who lead the transformation effort in different areas of business and IT. With this specialization, the organization context in which architects operate is narrowed to a specific areas with their local drivers, stakeholders, and plans. Area-based specialization resembles the traditional functional specialization of employees in organization but is not fully equivalent to it. You will see examples that you are having a special application architect, cyber security architect, infrastructure architect, and sometimes you are having an architect based on the business domain himself. You will find, as an example, if you are having an ERP system or whatever, you will have some specialization based on the HR function, and you will find HR architect. We'll see these examples in the next slides. The idea of area-based specialization can be best illustrated with three common structure patterns: domain-centric, business-centric, and combined. In domain-centric architecture functions, architects are aligned with organizations' domains and drive only those transformation efforts that target these domains. In these functions, architect positions at every tier, covering the organization horizontally according to the typical layer of the corporate landscape. In enterprise architects with limited domain coverage are often called domain architects, so they are very specialized in a very specific domain. So here, enterprise application architects, so you are having an enterprise architect specialized in the application domain. In this setup, the work specifies of both enterprise architect and the solution architect are strictly determined by their domain specialization. So here, as an example, and here is the focus, and the specialization is about the IT domain, the business domain, application domain, data domain, integration domain, infrastructure domain, and the security domain. By the way, you will find some other architecture office, they are only having 4 domains. Usually it is business, application, data, and infrastructure. The integration, usually it is combined with the application, and the security is normally now referring back to the risk department. In most of organization, it is the same. So in such setup, if when you are having domain-centric, so you are having a cyber security enterprise architect. I am having infrastructure enterprise architect. I am having enterprise architect who is focusing on the application domain. So this is the area based, and you will see most of, and that's why I am calling it it's an IT domain, because normally such segregations comes from the IT. In the business-centric architecture function, you will find the architects are aligned with the major business areas and drive only those transformation efforts that target these areas. So they are driven by the business. In this function, the architecture position at every tier covers the organization in vertical, representing island of business or operations with their IT infrastructure, and you will find they are covering the full stack. Enterprise architect with limited business scopes can be called business area architects, and titled according to their area, enterprise architect for mining or for whatever. And it is very common that I found even in the big companies, you will find something like FSI enterprise architect, who's mean an enterprise architect who is specialized in the financial service industry. There is another one who is telecom enterprise architect, who again is specialized in the telecom industry. In this setup, the work of enterprise architect exhibits little or no signs of domain specialization, but the work of solution architect is largely domain specialization. And let me show you how it is shown here. Here, as you can see, business area A, business area B, and C. You will find here as a big organization, and I have found some of my friends, they are working exactly like this. You will find, and as an example, it was a very big telecom company, and they were having my friend who was working in the HR department. They are having around 3 or 4 systems, and he was responsible for the integration of these 3-4 systems with multiple systems in the organization. So he was very focused in the business area, and he was responsible for the overall solution and the coordination with other architecture domains in this institution, as an example. And they were always referring to him in multiple domains. Actually, I found this setup normally in very large organization where the business, they are very powerful than the IT, and they can handle the cost of the architecture at this setup, because actually it is very costly. And here the last part, which is the combined architecture functions, and actually this is very, very common. In this combined architecture, some architects are aligned with the typical organization's domains, while others with specific business areas. Position for true enterprise architect covering all domains and the business area are rare, and they can be titled as chief architects or principal architects. I will show it to you in this diagram. Functional domains bound to business activities benefit from decentralization, while business agnostic non-function domain benefit from the centralization itself. In combined functions, business area specific position usually cover only functional domains, whereas a domain specific position only non-functional domain. And let me show it to you in the next slide. And actually, this is very, very common in multiple organizations. What does this mean? That in the business domain and application domain and data domain, because they are very closely related to each other, and normally when you are understanding the business domain, you know the applications that serve this business, and from the application you know the data model and the integration between the data. So all of this, they are serving the business. That's why here you will find business area specific architect, who is an architect who knows everything about this business area. And what is happening? Integration domain as an example organization with a standard API gateway or an integration layer of ESP or whatever, that any application when it is onboarded, it needs to communicate through this domain. So at this point of time, this architect, he communicates or he coordinates with the integration architect here, who is very domain specific, in order to get his job done. So he is the one who is doing the actual implementation. And of course, and this is very common with the infrastructure domain, sometimes I found a lot of infrastructure architects, they are dealing with the hardware, with the application, they are up and running, and they actually don't care about the business. For them, the applications itself, it's a matter of setting a criticality for the application and setting the monitoring and how to do the backup and whatever, and they are not involved what is this application is serving from business perspective. And here in the security domain, you will find a lot of people of the security domain, they are having some sort of a checklist. If an application, whatever its nature, as an example, it is dealing with the cores I'm talking about and giving an example in financial service industry, so it must be PCI DSS compliant. Any application needs to integrate with Sepcialization. Any application I need, if it is critical, I will need to have an EDR solution, having and handling the endpoint. So the security can have such a structure as well. So I can see and I can tell you that in most of the organization, this is actually very common. And sometimes it makes sense if you are having such structure. So today we have been focusing on the architecture positions and here in this area, and as you can see, the level of combination between the horizontal and the vertical, it depends about the centralization or the decentralization of the organization. So you can have actually multiple combination. Here, this is the example that we were just doing the explanation for. Here we are going for the extreme about all the architects, they are handling based on the business unit, and they are covering all the domains, and here is business domain, application domain, data domain they are having, but it is very high organization and very large organization. And here, as you can see, it is specific based on the IT domain, business domain, and actually I found when you are having a business architect who is able to speak the business language, he is already adding a lot to the business in such organization. And unfortunately, this role sometimes it does not exist in an enterprise architect, while based on my experience and the people and the team I have been dealing with, I learned a lot from the business perspective when I was dealing from a business architect. I want to draw your attention that the author is already providing training for this framework officially from his website, and these are the two books that was the base of such slides that we are seeing as of today. I would like to thank you for watching this video, and if you like this video, please subscribe to the channel and try to share it with your enterprise architecture team in your organization and other colleagues. Thanks for your time.